Hello and welcome to another episode of Footy Thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the first episode, and if you're back for more because you enjoyed it, happy days. If you didn't enjoy it, you're probably not here. Chris, fair play to Chris. He's actually got COVID, so he's battling on.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel fine. It's just it's just like a cold, but yeah, I got the results back on Sunday evening. Yeah, I'm positive, so I'm keeping 2 meters away from the screen, just in case. You never know.
Just gotta go like this.
Yeah.
Make sure.
It's before 10 o'clock at the moment, so it's all right.
Oh yeah. Doesn't come in till 10.
No, exactly.
It's been a good weekend football-wise.
Yeah.
For me and Chris, maybe not for Josh. Yeah.
We think of the positives first.
I've enjoyed it for a change. So, it's been a good weekend. Couple good results. First half of the City Liverpool, what was going to be the highlight of the weekend was good, but second half was just tactical and quite dull. But yeah, it was good overall. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Apart from the, we predicted it, the Burnley-Brighton game. I think I said 2-1 for that, so I've got that prediction wrong already.
Bit hopeful.
Yeah, I was a bit hopeful there. But no, I really enjoyed the weekend. As you said, City-Liverpool in the first half I thought was a fantastic game. It was end-to-end. Liverpool had a good start, but City got back into it, and that was a good game of football. And there was some great. I mean, who would have thought Crystal Palace would have beaten Leeds United 4-1? To be honest, I thought Leeds would score 4, not Palace.
Yeah, I think I said last time I can't see Palace scoring 3 goals, and then they scored 4.
No,
so.
I mean that's the thing. But that was a good game.
Yeah, because I predicted 3-3, didn't I?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good weekend of football, I thought.
All right, we're basically going to base this episode off 3 kind of very basic questions. The first one is result of the weekend, the second is player of the weekend, and finally, favourite game personally of the weekend. It's all our personal thoughts. We're all just going to discuss it.
Sorry, I thought it was who's going to replace Arteta. That's what I've got down. Yeah,
that's a fourth. I think Arteta out. Right, let's start with the first one. Result of the weekend. Who are you going for, Chris?
So, the first question was result of the weekend.
Yeah.
So, I think, judging of all the games, and there were some good results, obviously for Palace or everyone who won. But I'd say the best result. This might be surprising, but I'm going to go United. United beating Everton 3-1, because after a bad result in midweek and 2 defeats on the bounce, I think and considering they went 1-0 down as well, I think Manchester United did very well to come back and win so convincingly in the end. I mean, I know Everton didn't pose much of a threat, but United did their defensive duties well, and I think at 9 times out of 10, I think they did all right. They got the 2 goals. Bruno Fernandes, great performance, and I think United have done well and especially with the game being at 12:30 on Saturday. I mean, I agree with Ollie with what he said at the end of the game. They were set up to fail. Having to travel all the way to Istanbul on a Wednesday night and then play on Saturday, I just don't get it. I honestly don't get the FA and how they arrange their games, especially after the European game. But I think it was a good result for United. So that's my result of the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't have that down as a result of the weekend, but I thought it surprised me. I thought we were going to lose, but it also showed me that the players are going to play for Ollie. That performance was from not just from Bruno, but Fred and Maguire, those two stood out and really showed their worth. And yeah, it was because usually we don't even do well at Everton, like even if we were doing well in form or whatever. So to go there in bad form and to win like that, fair play to them, and hopefully we can pick up on it after the stupid internationals and go again and hopefully climb that table and shock a few people. My result of the weekend was actually Saints, because of what it meant to them, obviously being first time ever in the Premier League era, being top of the table. I thought they were going to bottle it, not because it's Saints or because it's just because of what a win would have meant for them, but I thought they were brilliant, especially without Ings as well. Their best player probably. I just thought all around as a team they showed their class and showed their depth as well. So I thought I went to a lot of Saints games when I was at uni as well, so I was happy for them and happy for Hassan Kuntu. Mouthful, that one. Yeah, I'm happy for him because I remember a lot of headlines after that Leicester defeat last season. And then a year on, they were top of the table for, it might have been only for a day or two. It was when the Spurs won, wasn't it? So it was 2 days, but it must have been special for them. And yeah, good for them.
Considering where they were not that long ago, playing really dire football under Mark Hughes and Pellegrini.
Yeah.
I think Saints fans have got to be absolutely delighted with where they are now. Hasenhüttl's a fantastic manager, and he's really getting the most out of these players. And, I think they could be competing for a top 6 spot potentially.
Yeah, I agree. And considering the players that I mean, people forget really the squad that they had and the players that they've lost. Not Adam Lallana. I know this was going way back, but they had some great talents and Walcott. I mean, they've
Sure.
They always produce good players. And I respect them as a football club because they always, focus on their youth and excuse me, they always they give faith to their youngsters. So I'm happy for them.
Yeah. What do you go for, Josh? What was your result of the weekend?
Well, I didn't personally enjoy this one, but it's got to be Aston Villa, isn't it? I mean, they absolutely destroyed Arsenal. And they deserve a ton of credit because I know they beat Liverpool 7-2, but I actually think this game was more impressive than that one because in the Liverpool game, some of their goals were a bit fluky. There was nothing fluky about this result. From minute one, they battered Arsenal, and they're a much, much better team than they were last season.
I really enjoy watching it, not because. Well, there was a part of it because they were beating Arsenal, but because, like, Ollie Watkins, for example, every time the ball went to him, he got it, he controlled it, and he passed it on so well. And it's so good to watch. And then there's the Barkley and Grealish link up. I don't think I've seen two players gel as well as they have in a long time. In such a short period of time as well. And like Barkley, for me, when he was at Chelsea, he wasn't amazing. But obviously now he's gone to Villa, he has got confidence playing around these kind of players. And not like Chelsea don't have that kind of players, but he probably wasn't as good as other players at Chelsea. But at Villa, he's one of their standouts and he's doing proper well. I like Cash as well. He puts in a good tackle. Trezeguet
as well.
and
Yeah.
and Target as well. You know, he's got a good delivery
Yeah.
with him at the back, and he's solid at the back, and he's in my fantasy team as well. So I really enjoyed his performance. But,
You're winning us, aren't you? You're winning us.
yeah. I've got
I don't know what Josh is doing, to be honest. I don't know if he's playing or not. Or
It's early days. It's early days. But yeah,
yeah,
great predicted winner. I mean, I couldn't. At first, I kind of couldn't believe what I was watching, but then I thought, you know, I've got to give respect to Villa here because I thought they played fantastically, and they've been getting these results for a reason. You know, they've just worked so well with each other. I mean, Grealish, Barkley, they play so well together. And it's a great problem for Gareth Southgate for England. I mean, I don't like going back to international football, but you know, I mean, Grealish, Barkley, Mount, you know, the midfield is looking quite promising. And
Grealish has to be in there.
Without a doubt,
absolutely,
100%. And you know, I'm pleased with Barkley again because at Chelsea he didn't, you know, he tried, but he didn't really, you know, he had a bit of a torrid time with some games, but fair play to him. He's playing regular football now, and I think Dean Smith is getting the confidence out of him, which is good to see.
Swiftly moving on. Player of the weekend. Go to Josh first.
Okay. I'm gonna go Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, I love this from you too.
He won that game for United almost single-handedly, scoring 2 goals and assisting the third. And he's just made such a massive difference to that team since he's arrived. And, you know, they would be in an even worse position without him. So he deserves a lot of credit.
I agree. I think he's, like, obviously it's United and he's unreal. Like, not just his quality on the ball, but his work rate off it is one of the best in the team, if not the best for me. And that's one of the most important things when it comes to a player for me. A player that tries and works his socks off. But yeah, like the header was very good. I didn't even know he had that in him. But yeah, he did play very well. I actually went for Grealish. So, like, he might have not been involved. Well, he was involved in all the goals, but he didn't score. But he still carries that team. Not carries, but brings that team forward, and his class is just unbelievable. Like, I rate him so highly. I can't believe that Southgate doesn't. I can't believe that nobody bought him in the summer. Even for that money, like that price tag's just going to go up and up now. So whatever they were looking for in the summer is just going to look cheap now. And a missed opportunity. So I think he was unreal last night. And as you say, him, Barkley, even McGinn's such an important player for Villa. But Grealish is that, like, top quality in that team that really glues everything together, kind of, in my opinion. So, and he loves that club.
Yeah,
he does love that club. So yeah,
good choice. I mean, it was hard to choose because there were so many good performances from players over the weekend. I mean, again, like what you guys mentioned, Fernandes and Grealish, brilliant performances, and also Eberechi Eze for Palace. I thought he had a brilliant game against Leeds. Like, great. I think he scored a free kick, which was a brilliant finish. And but this might sound a bit biased, but I'm going to have to go for Ziyech. I thought he literally dictated that game against Sheffield. I watched all of the game, and his delivery into the box. I mean, for the delivery to Chilwell for the second goal was just phenomenal. He's got such a sweet left foot, and he played with such confidence. I mean, you wouldn't have thought that he just came from Ajax and from a different league. He seems to. It looked like he'd played in the Premiership for years. Like, he was such a, he dictated the game. He had a few missed opportunities, but I think what I like about him is he has a confidence to want the ball. He's never shies away from getting the ball, and he always wants to, find that excellent pass. I mean, he did it for Thiago Silva's goal as well, that free kick.
Yeah.
Whipped it in, and it was brilliant link-up play. He seems to have settled into that Chelsea team.
He's a great player. He's definitely a great player and a great sign for you. It's just going to improve you as a team.
Definitely. And
that extra creative little spark as well, because I know you got Pulisic, but Mount has upped his game, but before the season, he's not really the creative star that you kind of need. But this guy will up his level and up everyone around him's level. So it can only be a good thing for Chelsea.
100%. And also, like, going back to when we had Hazard, I mean, back then we were so, no disrespect to the other players, but we were kind of so one-dimensional. We didn't solely rely on Hazard, but for the majority of the games, we always needed that creative spark from one. We had that from one player. Now we've got options. We've got Ziyech. Mount can he's more of a workhorse, Mount, but he can, on his day, he can be creative. We've got Pulisic to come back. Werner can play out on the wing with Tammy in the middle. We've got more options now, and I think it gives us a bit more progress going forward rather than just having that one. As good as Hazard was, we couldn't just rely on him 24/7. We needed that extra player, and I think we've got that now going forward. Yeah,
but it is a very good signing.
Yeah,
I think a couple of yours have been good signings. There's someone's Thiago Silva again. If he stays fit, that's your issue. That's my only issue with Chelsea, is if Thiago Silva gets injured, you're stuck with those who let you down last season again. But it might help even to have the new keeper,
Mendy.
Yeah, he might help your defensive mindset kind of thing.
Yeah,
definitely. I think and one of the biggest things as well, if Mendy gets injured, I think that would be if Mendy gets injured, then
it'll be the biggest injury that you could have,
I think. But we've got such a balance now. It's early days as well. No offense to Sheffield United, but they've got a few issues at the back at the moment with Ramsdale and goal. They are struggling, but you can only beat what's in front of you. So
one other
see with Sheffield United what difference a keeper can make to a team. Like Dean Henderson last year was so good for them, and Ramsdale, to be honest, has been a bit dodgy. He's not the only problem for them, but he's not helped them, I don't think.
There's two keepers that deserve a shout in this little Player of the Week thing, I think. I think McCarthy, I think they've kept 3 or 4 clean sheets in a row now, and he's been really good for them. And Martinez, they've not conceded away from home this season. That's like some stat. That is some stat.
That is incredible. It's a bit. Martinez was allowed to play, wasn't he, yesterday? Because he was at Arsenal before.
He just didn't do anything because we didn't have any shots.
didn't even notice he was in goal.
Well, no, you wouldn't have, because we didn't do anything.
Isn't there like some stat on Twitter I saw about you scoring from open play? You haven't done it in like a long time.
It's something like 6 hours, something like that.
Yeah,
That's a massive problem for us, is creativity.
Mm.
I think in a way this defeat's kind of good because it's going to show Arteta that he needs to change the setup of the team.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, like the front three, Aubameyang, Lacazette, Willian, just is not working. All three of them are completely out of form.
Yeah,
So
Aubameyang hasn't scored from open play since Fulham, has he? First game of the season.
No.
That's
I'd move him back to centre forward.
Yeah, I thought we said that.
Because Lacazette is not doing enough to justify him being there.
No.
And I'd probably give Pepe a chance because he's not been great, but he's scored 3 goals this season. Willian's not scored any, so
yeah, playing Nketiah.
Yeah, could do. I mean, I'm not totally sold on him.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see Martinelli come back. I think he could be a good.
When's he back?
Player to have back because he's quite good in the air, which is something that we lack at the moment.
Yeah.
We're putting crosses into the box, and there's just nobody on the end of them. So
when's he back?
Probably beginning of next year, I think.
That's a long time still.
But I'd give somebody like Joe Willock a chance as well because he's been quite good in the Europa League. I know it is only the Europa League, but I'd at least try him in the Premier League to see what he can do. He is only 21. The one thing I like about him is that he does move the ball forward, which is something we don't do enough of. So we really need to try.
It's a bit of a wake-up call.
Yeah, I think it is. We've been kind of getting away with not creating until now.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will be a bit of a wake-up call for Arteta.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't think we've got the players that we need, really. Like, we need a creative midfielder.
It's like
we need
United.
a new striker, probably, as well.
It's the same as United. It's a work in progress, and some fans probably don't understand that concept, and they just want glory all the time. Like, you're not going to get that as a football fan.
No.
If you're a football fan, you're just going to want glory. You may as well stop being a football fan because that's not going to happen any of the time, no matter who you support. Just look at Liverpool. Like, I bet there were some people moaning about Klopp after that Villa loss, and even after yesterday. So I just don't get how people, like, I saw something on Twitter, someone phoned into TalkSport to Savage and Sutton, I think it was, saying, "Oh, Teta out" and all that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Mental. Who are they going to get? Like,
exactly.
There's no point. It wouldn't change anything. Like, ultimately, the players are not really good enough. Like, you look at Villa's attack yesterday. Their attack's better than ours.
Yeah.
Like, we've got some big names, but they're not performing at the level that they were. Like, Willian's been pretty disappointing, to be honest. I don't know what Chris thought of him at Chelsea, but he's not really been that good.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, towards the end of his Chelsea career, he wasn't. He was very wasteful. I don't think. I mean, this is the thing with Willian. He always had like this purple patch where he would be playing really well. He would score like a couple of goals against like a Tottenham and an Arsenal, but he was just too inconsistent. And I think with the signings that we got now, I don't think he would get in the team. I mean, but there's no disrespect for Arsenal because you have got some, young talents coming through. But he's a very frustrating player. Like, he needs to. He's got so much potential, and he's got his flair. He can be really good going forward, but he just always has that tendency just to dip in and out of games. And I don't know whether that's a confidence issue, whether it's, the players around him. I'm not too sure. But
I saw a lot of Chelsea fans last season. They weren't a fan of him.
No.
But I actually would. Well, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but as a neutral, I thought he was decent because he kept on doing stuff for you to win the games, and so that's what you want from a player.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, he did have some very good performances. I mean, I think it was 2016. He won Player of the Year for Chelsea.
Yeah,
like he was our best player. But for some, I don't know whether because
I thought it was going to be a squad signing for Arsenal.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I wouldn't mind if he'd been just like a squad player, but the fact that he's starting all the time, when he's not really done anything to justify it, is a bit frustrating.
Yeah, I think that's the difference. I thought he was going to be there. It would be good for the younger players, good experience, good for Martinelli, for example. We've got my chimes again, mate. Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
But, I thought he was going to be that kind of helper, that talker, the guider kind of person, along with the Aubameyangs and the David Luiz's and that. But he seems to be starting every game, and that kind of needs to change if you're going to succeed.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree.
You need more players. Which you have, to be fair. You got Pepe.
Trust Pepe. I think towards the end of our season, the FA Cup games, he was superb. So I don't know why you don't trust him more.
I think the problem with Pepe is he's very inconsistent. He can be terrible for ages and then he'll score a worldie of a goal. This season, you look at all 3 goals he's scored, they've all been really world-class, brilliantly taken goals. But the rest of the game, he'll put a corner out of play or lose the ball a million times. He's kind of like a Sanchez, not as good as Sanchez, but like Sanchez used to give the ball away a lot, but then he banging a goal. Pepe's kind of like that. I'd like to see him get a start, personally, because I think he provides more of a goal threat than Willian does.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right. Shall we move on? If we're not Arsenal fan TV here.
Yeah, I agree. I'd just like to mention about Eze for Crystal Palace as well. He was on loan at Wycombe Wanderers a couple of years ago, which is my local club, and he was really, really good. He scored loads of good goals in League Two. Like, you could tell he was too good for that level. And I'm glad that he's doing well at Palace because he's a really impressive young player.
Yeah, for sure. That moves us on to a favourite game of the weekend. For me, it was that one. I know Leeds are good, and I thought they were going to give Palace more of a game, but to see Palace, and I am a massive fan of Roy Hodgson, do that well against Palace. Palace against Palace? No. Palace against Leeds. Against Leeds, that was some performance and some kind of statement. They started the season up and down, and they had good results against United, obviously, and they picked up a couple more wins. But yesterday's was really both a statement from them and a wake-up call for Leeds. You're not gonna, if you have an off day, you're doomed in this league, kind of.
Yeah.
So that was my favourite game, I reckon. There was a couple of contenders. If the City-Liverpool game continued how it was going in the first half, the level of the quality as well as the ridiculous VAR stuff. The whole first half had everything. So if it continued and it did turn into a boring tactical, nobody wanted to lose kind of second half, it would have been up there, but it did turn into that kind of game. And for me, that was just boring to watch. But yeah, the first half was end to end from minute 1 to 45 plus whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that game. I didn't watch it, but it sounded like the stoppage time in the Fulham West Ham game.
I was going to mention that. It was looking like a Brighton Burnley game, but then all of a sudden, in stoppage time, it got really exciting.
Like that penalty was ridiculous.
Fabianski thought Christmas had come early with that penalty. I mean, what was he thinking?
I'd still be fuming.
Honestly, like if I was Scott Parker, I wouldn't play it again. I wouldn't play it again. Because let's be honest, that point against West Ham could have been so valuable to Fulham, valuable for them to stay up. I mean, what was he thinking? I mean, especially
they could go
right in the last minute as well.
Yeah,
right in the last.
Just blast it.
Yeah,
just blast it. Yeah, pick a spot. I mean,
like if the keeper make a save, fair enough, but at least give him something to do.
Even if you skied it and you put power on it, fair enough. But to do that and to get caught out, it's comical.
It just makes him look like an idiot.
Exactly. And I know he missed his last penalty, but I don't know why Mitrovic didn't take it. I mean, was he?
Not Scott, Tom Kearney, is he not a penalty taker as well?
Yeah, I think he is. He's.
I was surprised Mitrovic didn't take it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to Lookman, probably prior to in training, he was probably like maybe banging in the penalties for fun. But for some strange reason, he decided to do a Panenka in the last minute. It's just disrespectful as well, really, to your teammates.
Yeah, it's so good if it happens and gets it right, and the keeper goes and when it goes wrong, it's the most stupidest of things in football. So
it's mad, absolutely mad.
That's why I'd never do a penalty like that. My God.
Pick your spot and just smash it and hope for the best. That's it. Like a Troy Deeney.
Yeah, basically. I prefer that any day. What's your favourite game?
So my favourite game, I'll probably... There was quite a few. I probably... I quite liked it as a contest, Man City Liverpool. I quite liked it as I know the second half was it lacked a bit of quality, but I found it really intriguing as a contest. How Klopp and Pep, tactically made it very difficult for them to break each other down. Like the first half was brilliant. It was fully guns blazing. Liverpool started well and had a bit of everything, like you said, the first half with the two penalty decisions, the VAR, and both teams. And I know Liverpool's goal was a penalty, but Salah's penalty was good. He stepped up and he converted it, and Jesus' goal was just fantastic. So considering it's his first game back for a while, the turn and the finish was just exceptional.
So good.
It was brilliant, and I still think I know the table doesn't suggest this, but I still think they're the two best teams in the league at this time. I think I still think they're going to be the ones to beat this season, especially Liverpool, City. The strength and depth of their team.
I think City are the ones to beat because Diaz Ruben Diaz is a good signing for them. Yeah, they've needed a centre back like that for a while. So if they get Jesus or Aguero fit and scoring, and they get Sterling scoring, De Bruyne scoring, don't have to worry about their defence as much. So, whereas obviously Van Dijk's injured, we all know that, but it's going to be a big loss for Liverpool, and
100%.
teams will see that and target whoever plays alongside Gomez. And Gomez isn't even amazing. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's solid, but he can be targeted. So that back four, if you target the right hand side of that back four, target Trent defensively, if I can speak, then I think you can get in behind Liverpool, as Villa have shown, as other teams have shown as well. But the only problem is, obviously, you got to stop Salah, you got to stop Firmino, you got to stop Mane, and Jota's come in and done brilliantly as well. So, I think everyone can beat everyone this season. That's what makes it so good.
Yeah, I mean, I saw when I was watching United and Everton during half time, I think Sam Allardyce, Jake Humphries said Sam Allardyce sent him a text and saying this year's defending has been the worst in Premier League history.
Yeah, but it makes for entertaining games.
It has.
I love it.
I mean, this weekend in a way it's been quite tame, compared to other games. I mean, last week we had Everton Southampton, that was 4-3. Earlier on Chelsea West Brom, that was 3-3. It's been mad. It's been and I do think it's because of clubs not having a proper pre-season. I think that's definitely had a difference on the team's shape and how they tactically they prepare defensively. But it's great to see as a neutral. I mean, as a Chelsea fan or a team that's not defending very well, it could give you a lot of grey hairs. But
as a football fan, it's great. It's what you want.
100%. Definitely.
I think, you look at the amount of money that's in the Premier League now. I think the thing is that the smaller teams are able to afford better quality players now as well.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, only the big teams really had super talented players that could score loads of goals. Whereas now you've got almost everybody in the Premier League has really, really talented players that are capable of scoring a lot. So I think the quality of the league is also a factor in the amount of goals as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
What was your favourite game last night?
I'm going to go with Leicester Wolves. If only because Leicester winning meant Spurs weren't top of the league. But I thought first half Leicester were the much better team.
Yeah.
The first penalty decision was very harsh on Wolves.
Yeah.
And then obviously Vardy missed the second one. And Wolves kind of came back into it after that. Schmeichel made a really good save in the second half from Neves.
Really good save. Really good keeper.
And Leicester,
he's old. I didn't know how old Schmeichel was. That's crazy when I found out. He's like 34 or something.
Yeah, he's
been around a while.
He's catching up with his dad.
Yeah. Because you still think of him as Peter Schmeichel's son.
Yeah.
But you still think of him as a lot younger than he is.
Yeah. But that made put Leicester top, and that just shows. I think on Sunday there was 4 teams who took the top spot, and that just shows how tight it is this season, how good as well it is. People talk about United, we're 8 points off with a game in hand, 5 points off if we win it. So then we're down in 13th or 14th. That just shows how tight the league is, and it's for me as a football fan, I love it. I much prefer it than a couple of teams be at the top all season, because it gives the clubs like Leicester, like Saints, like Villa, that little bit of hope that it could be their year, and it is great to see.
I mean, it's brilliant for the game, I think, as well. It's brilliant it's a great advert for the Premier League because, you know, it's proof in the pudding that anyone could win it, kind of thing. Like, it gets that idea where, you know, it's always nice for a team like Southampton to come up in the top of the Premier League, because it's great for the fans, and especially at this time as well, it just gives everyone hope and belief that, you know, teams can actually. I mean, Leicester proved it, didn't they? Leicester proved it when they famously won the Premier League. You know, no one expected it. I mean, there were like 5,000 to 1 to win the league, and they were like
crazy season.
One of the favourites to go down, and
I think that was part of the reasons I didn't do well in my A levels. I was so like caught up in that magic.
I'm not
surprised. That was the reason.
It was a great season, and yeah, but yeah, it's great. It's a great advert for the league.
Yeah, for sure.
No disrespect at all to Leicester, but that season where they won the league, it was a little bit kind of fluky. Whereas this time, I think if they were to go and win the league, it would be like totally because they built a really good team. Yeah, like, I think the team they've got now is better than the team that won them the league.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I do agree. Yeah, they've got a better. I think they've got a better balance, and they had a lot of players out, didn't they? I think Ndidi was out. They had quite a few players that were.
Yeah, they've had injuries for the past few. Like, I don't think Evans played, but the other guy didn't. So Nucci didn't. He's been injured.
Fafan's been really impressive.
Castagna's been injured. Yeah.
I like
Fafan. He's been good.
It's a good. I think Rodgers has done well to.
Rodgers is a great manager, and as I said last time, like, it's a step up for him coming to Leicester, building his own team back in the Premier League, rather than staying with Celtic. Even though Celtic are doing trash this season, like, usually they win every single game, and it's like, do you want to stay there and do that and not improve yourself as a manager, or do you want to come and challenge yourself? And I think he did the right thing, and it's good to have him back. I didn't like him at Liverpool, but I like him now.
The season that was so close, but Liverpool, but no.
Oh well. That Palace game was so good.
That was probably one of my favourite games that season.
Everyone talks about the Denver Bar game, but for me that season, the Palace game was just something else. And to see Suarez crying at the end was fantastic.
I enjoy the Denver Bar one more. Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, you would, yeah.
And,
I mean, that was great as well.
And we came up with that famous song, I was living with stars.
Yeah. I also enjoyed the Chelsea game. Leicester won the league against Spurs. That won Leicester the league. That
was a proper game of football.
Now, so feisty. So
good. So good.
Like, Pochettino nearly started a brawl, like when Danny Rose and Costa or something like that.
Dembele and Costa.
God, yeah.
That's good. That was a game where the ref just let everything go, and that was just the best game of football I've watched probably in a long time. And I don't think I've watched a better one since. And people, that just sums it up. Like, yesterday's tweet from City, all friendly, like, we couldn't win, it was a point apiece, love you Liverpool. Like, bog off. Like, I want the old football back where they were kicking bits out of each other and stuff.
You need someone like a Roy Keane, like now. I was going to say this before, but I forgot. That's why. I mean, he's a fantastic player as well, but Bruno Fernandes, he kind of showed that side against Everton, where he was just, he took no nonsense, and I think
he's a fighter.
pops at some of the players, and I think it was brilliant to see. He reminded me of Roy Keane.
Yeah, he's a fighter. That's what I like. That, like I said earlier, he works his socks off for the team. He battles, and that's what our team like. But in the game on Saturday, I didn't watch it live, but I've seen the highlights and I've seen what people said, the reliable ones. And Fred apparently was superb. So that's one I'm really happy about, because there was a point last season, must have been not this summer, just gone, the transfer window before, where he was on being tipped to leave, and I really didn't want it to happen, because I saw something, and he's starting to really show it now, and he's keeping Pogba out the team, and rightly so.
Yeah. Definitely.
So
yeah, I think Fred's one of those players. He kind of goes under the radar because he's not the most spectacular player, but he's a very solid player.
Yeah, he does the jobs that nobody notices, that the little jobs, like the little tackles, the little stopping their play, kind of the opposition play, and starting our attacks, kind of thing. He's like the don't know how to explain him. He's the Kante of our team, but not as good as Kante, obviously. Well, Kante's gone downhill now, but the Kante of previous seasons, he's that kind of player, and I really like him. But back to what you say about Roy Keane and that, there's no players in the league now, the midfield, where you think, oh, he's just going to batter you all game, or the last one was Mark Noble, and I don't know what's happened to him. Has he left West Ham? I haven't seen him.
He's injured. I think he's got a hamstring problem.
Does he?
Him out, but yeah,
because he's the last one of that breed. I'll kick you because I love this club kind of breed.
Yeah. I think, and the modern. I think one of the other players as well, which is kind of like that, is I think personally, is Fernandinho. Because he's a very good example of a player who just breaks up play, takes no nonsense, and I think I can't remember.
He cheats his way through it.
He cheats his way through it, but he's got a lot of red cards. I think he's got 8 in his City career. Something.
He gets away with too many as well, mate. It's every game he does it.
They do love a tactical foul at City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the worst around.
Definitely, but he's that kind of player who will, just take no nonsense, and he will do anything to win a game of football. And I think City, Liverpool, they just have too much respect for each other. I think, especially Klopp and Pep. They're almost like, I saw it at the end of the game. They're almost like best mates, like hugging each other. Oh, that was a good game. What are you doing later? You wouldn't see it with Wenger and Ferguson or Wenger and Mourinho. You'd never see that. And I think the rivalry, that kind of rivalry, is gone now.
Yeah.
Even with Arsenal and United, I mean, I remember, when the Roy Keane incident in the tunnel with Vieira, they absolutely hated each other. They, Arsenal and United at the time hated each other, and there were so many incidents that happened that they lived and died by their football club. I don't think you have many players like that now.
No, I agree. I think we were talking about this the other day, and how I don't look out for the Arsenal games anymore. It's nothing against Arsenal or what they are as a football club, but I look out for the City in the Liverpool game only because City's our derby and Liverpool our biggest rival. Whereas Arsenal, they used to be massive for me, but now, even though we're both getting aiming to get back to where we were, the rivalry's not there anymore, and it's just now turned into a YouTube fest, and it's boring.
Yeah, I agree. But hopefully, I mean, don't get me wrong, the standard of football is still fantastic. I mean, some of the games that we have is brilliant. The quality's there, and without a doubt. I mean, it showed City, Liverpool the season before that, where they both reached like 99, 90. I mean, Liverpool got 99, City got 103. But that the competition was so good because of the quality of football. But there wasn't much it wasn't almost like when Chelsea first won the league. We were brilliant at football, but we had that nasty side to us as well. And we had that. We just had players like Makaleli who would just and John Terry who just would take players out just to win a game of football. They would do anything, like even throw punches, like without the referee watching. Yeah, it's I think that's kind of gone out of football now.
For sure. Oh well, we don't have to watch football for 2 weeks now because it's international.
Yeah, I know.
Happy days.
I think one of the games, is it England and Iceland that might be cancelled because of the?
I hope so. They should all flip and be cancelled.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to have them in a middle of a pandemic to play.
It's in danger in the.
Yeah.
It's in danger in the
you're just putting them on unnecessary risk.
It's ridiculous.
Especially now, they shouldn't be doing it.
It's all friendlies as well. Apart from, I think Scotland have a European
playoff
kind of qualifier. Yeah. I'd play those games, but none of the others. Because those games need to be played. The others don't. It just doesn't make sense. Oh well, we'll be back anyway on Friday probably, doing some sort of talk about football. I think it's something like our favourite players or something we're gonna do.
Yeah, top 10 players in it and top 10 managers.
Yeah, those kind of topics next weekend. So we're not gonna leave you bored, but we'll be back.
We'll be back
if
soon.
Not to entertain ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. Got nothing to do for 10 days, so
may as well.
Exactly.